You heal a man named Pangborn, paralyzed man.
In a way.
You helped him to walk again.
Yes.
How did you correct a complete C7, C8 spinal cord injury?
Well, I didn't correct it. He couldn't walk. I convinced him that he could. When you reattach a severed nerve, is it you who heals it back together or the body?
It's the cells.
And the cells are only programmed to put themselves back together in very specific ways.
Right.
What if I told you that your own body could be convinced to put itself back together in all sorts of ways?
All right. How do we do that? Where do we start?
Don't like that map?
Oh, no, it's really good. It's just, I've seen it before in gift shops.
What about this one?
Acupuncture, great.
That one.
You're showing me an MRI scan.
You're a man looking at the world through a keyhole. You've spent your whole life trying to widen that keyhole, to see more, to know more. And now, on hearing that it can be widened in ways you can't imagine, you reject the possibility.
No, I reject it because I do not believe in fairy tales about chakras or energy or the power of belief. There is no such thing as spirit, but I see through you.
Nikola Tesla said that the primary function of the brain is to receive information because it operates as a transmitter. The problem with most people is that their mind is full of static, like a radio station. The frequency already exists. What you do in order to tap into that frequency is you need to tune the radio. So what if all your trauma, all your belief systems, you're just operating at a lower vibrational frequency state, and by changing your frequency state, you elevate your consciousness. And by elevating your consciousness, now you position yourself as a master of your mind, because it's all a battle of the mind. But you can instantly break the illusion by changing the frequency that you're in. So what is the highest form of frequency? We see the charts, they talk about enlightenment. What the f is enlightenment? We have all these ambiguous terms, but nobody asks themselves what they mean. There was a test that was conducted that took about 20 years. It was called Spain, where they put individuals into a Faraday cage that allows no frequency to come in, no 5G, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And you begin prompting them with different things that trigger what vibrational frequencies within their body. And they realized after different prompts and after 20 years of research that the highest form of vibrational frequency is the vibrational frequency of authenticity, to be the truest form of yourself. So once you live authentically and in truth, you elevate yourself to that vibrational frequency where you realize who you actually are, and you don't condition yourself or limit yourself by all the past, because the mind can conquer everything.
Arrogance and fear still keep you from learning the simplest and most significant lesson of all.
Which is?
It's not about you.
So in ancient Rome, they gave the people bread and circuses. They kept the populace busy with entertainment. But other dictatorships use other strategies to control ideas, the knowledge. How do they do that? Lower education. They limit culture, censor information. They censor any means of individual expression. And it's important to remember this, that this is a pattern that repeats itself throughout history. Okay.
The best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other.
あいつらの言う新時代ってのはクソだ。空島へよ。人の夢は終わらねえ。そうだろう。
I thought you'd never ask.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Give these people a voting day every year so that they'll have the illusion of meaningless choice.
By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice.
The thing that you should be afraid of most would probably be being alone, right? And I've been on my own since I can remember. So I got past that point, you know, as a child. So I don't know if it makes sense to you, but I don't care.
Everyone thinks I'm losing.
But I'm silently preparing for my comeback story.
In the shadows of adversity, I cultivate strength, resilience, and determination. Watch me rise from the ashes.
Why do you do it? Why? Why get up? Why keep fighting?
You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. If you can't win, it's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Because I'm choosing.
One of the things I learned was, and I really learned this, was that you don't get away with anything. And so you might think you can bend the fabric of reality and that you can treat people instrumentally and that you can bow to the tyrant without and violate your conscience without cost, but that is just not the case. You will pay the piper. When you pay, you might not even notice the causal connection between the sin and the payment. And one of the things you do in psychotherapy is people's lives take a twist and they go very badly wrong. And when you walk back through people's lives with them, you come to these choice points where you meet the devil at the crossroads and you find out that while you went left, let's say, and downhill when you should have gone right and uphill, and now you're paying the price for that.
This is how you know that you are a chosen one. Not everyone is selected for this unique path. A chosen one is a person chosen to undertake special assignments on this planet, primarily to help others. Your journey as a chosen one may have started with a challenging childhood, filled with abandonment issues and a sense of being overlooked by your family. You likely felt different from your siblings, seeing and understanding things that others couldn't. People might have found something unusual about you, something they couldn't quite put into words. And despite your best intentions, you might have felt hurt by those you tried to help. Some may have labeled you as weird or eccentric. You might have developed a preference for being alone because you struggled to relate to others. Interestingly, animals and even bugs seemed drawn to you, sensing a unique energy within you. As you grew into adulthood, you became quieter and more isolated. You learned to love from a distance because you couldn't pretend to be something you're not. Strangers seemed to be drawn to you, and even when you tried to stay out of the spotlight and do everything right, you felt like you were always under some form of attack. These experiences, though challenging, are often indicators that you are a chosen one. Your path is unique, and your purpose is to bring light to a world that may not always understand you. Embrace your role with love and compassion, for you are here to make a difference.
What does "you are the salt of the earth" even mean? I'm not good at metaphor. Salt preserves meat from corruption. It slows its decay. I want my followers to be a people who hold back the evil of the world. Salt also enhances the flavor of things. I want my followers to renew the world and be part of its redemption. Salt can also be mixed with honey and rubbed on the skin for maladies. I want my people to participate in the healing of the world, not its destruction. Then why not you say that? I told you. These things will make sense to some, but not to others. I don't want passive followers. Those who are truly committed will peer deeply into it, looking for truth.
Every man carries a circle of hell around his head like a halo. Your Daddy, too. Every man has to go through hell to reach his paradise.
You prayed and believed your whole life. Never done anything wrong. And here you are. You're the nicest person I know. I am the meanest. You have dementia. My life is perfect. Explain that to me.
Sometimes the devil allows people to live a life free of trouble because he doesn't want them turning to God. Their sin is like a jail cell, except it's all nice and comfy and there doesn't seem to be any need to leave. The door is wide open till one day time runs out. The cell door slams shut. And suddenly, it's too late. Who did you say you were?
I woke up for school in 2001 and watched the Twin Towers fall in 2001. 5 years later, the war is done. My brother never coming home, and my mother lost her oldest son. Why should I go to the army when I don't know the outcome? And how my uncle selling X but never heard of Malcolm. Sometimes when my dad hit me, I feel like Emmett Till. So if the police don't beat me, then my father will. I can't concentrate hearing my mom scream. So I told my math teacher going to a university was I had visions of getting my master's. Then my world turned black, like I was staring out of Ray Charles glasses. It's kinda hard to imagine, like Pastor Mace being the reverend when the whole world think you're fake. But no matter what it take, I'ma buy my mama a house. So if my dad ever hit her again, she can kick him out. Walking through my neighborhood, letting the ink from my pen bleed. Cause Luther Vandross had her, Richard Pryor had her, Rosa Parks had her. So